This is your brother Kevin from It's Time to Be Unshakable in Christ, back with another video looking at the timelines and the alignments and correlations based on the previous video that I had done for 1023. So in this video, I'm going to be going over 5 different sections. Pattern is prophecy, testimonies, matching up the numbers, and then also numbers, biblical meanings, timelines and correlations, and Strong's Concordance. Pattern is prophecy. Let's get into it. So on October 23rd, it was 9 days from Shemini Atzeret, the great 8th day, the last day from Shemini Atzeret. And that pointed us to the Day of Atonement in 2032, which was exactly 2,520 days. So that alignment is 2 periods of 1,260 days written in the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation. And I'm going to be looking at another pattern, the pattern of resurrection, a 3-day pattern, 3 additional days. We had Shemini Atzeret on October 14th, plus 9 days was October 23rd, plus 3 additional days gets us to October 26th. So it's the 8th day of Sukkot plus 12 days. And 3 is the number of resurrection and new life. And Christ's timeline in 32 AD to 10/23/2025, it was 728,123 days. That was the crucifixion, and the resurrection was 728,120 days. Okay, so utilizing Christ's timeline, the 1, 2, 3, adding 3 days, that was actually on 10/23, which also equaled 1, 2, 3. So adding 3 days onto this gets us to 10/26. And then the timeline will equal 126 and 123. So that's what I'm looking at in regards to Christ's timeline in 32 AD, the crucifixion and resurrection, an additional 3 days. And 123 gets us to 10/26, which also equals 126, matching Christ's timeline. So pattern is prophecy. From 4/8, the April 8th eclipse, to 9/23/2025, it was exactly 534 days. 5 is the number of grace, and it's exactly 34 days from 9/23 to 10/26. Now, jumping into my testimonies and matching up the numbers. 534 is in my testimonies, and it was on 7/28 of 2024 that I had my 534 encounter. 728 matches Christ's timeline in 32 AD and in 31 AD. 7 equals completion, the 2nd month and the 8th month. Completion in the 2nd month and the 8th month. And 534 matches the day count from 4/8/2024 to 9/23/2025. Exactly 534 days. And then if you look at the civil calendar for this specific day on 7/28/2024, it was 10/22 on the civil calendar and 4/22 on the Hebrew calendar. 10/22 equals 10/4. 2 plus 2 is 4. And it's the 2nd month and the 8th month. 2 plus 8 equals 10. And 4/22 equals 44. 2 plus 2 is 4. And 44, it's the 4th day on the 2nd month and the 8th month, which equals 4/10 or 10/4. And I also had my 8/4 encounter where those 3 mysterious towels were in my laundry. That was my testimony 7 days later from 7/28. It was on 8/4, and those 3 towels mysteriously got into my laundry. And so 8/4 matches 4/8 backwards, April 8th. But it also matches 8/4. Literally, it's Heshvan 4th. And 3 towels equals 3, resurrection and new life. And then if you look at the civil calendar for this day, it was 1029, and the Hebrew calendar was 429. 1029. If you flip the 9, it's a 6. That equals 1026. 429. If you flip the 9, it's a 6. That equals 426. It's the 4th day on the 2nd month in the 8th month, and the 26 equals October 26. We shall see. I'm speculating based on the knowledge that the Lord has given me, and He's directing me and guiding my steps every step of the way. And so I'm just following Him. He's just giving me all these breadcrumbs to follow, and it's not easy, but I put my trust in Him, and I speculate and I look for the Lord and when He's going to come. So Christ's timeline in 32 AD on 1026. So it was exactly 728,126 days, crucifixion, and then 123 for the resurrection. So this matches up exactly with my 125 into 126 angelic encounter and vision that I had in 2024. So 125 equals October 25th, 1025. 126 equals October 26th, 1026. And then 125 also equals 728125. And then 126 equals 728126. That is going to October 25th is the 125. October 26th is the 126 for Christ's timeline. So that's amazing. Numbers, the biblical meaning of numbers. Let's jump into it. Numbers. So we're looking at the calendar day, 1026. 10 equals the number of testimony, law, responsibility, and the completeness of order. Number 10, God gave the 10 commandments to man. 10, therefore, represents man's responsibility to keep the commandments. A tithe is a tenth of our earnings, and it is a testimony of our faith to the Lord. 10 also, the Exodus, there were 10 plagues God sent on Egypt in order to free His people, represented His complete and total judgment of the pagan empire. And 26 equals Yahweh. Yod He Vav He equals 26. And 26 equals God, God. G is 7, O is 15, and D is 4. And looking at the calendar date on the Hebrew and civil calendar, it's 8-4 and it's 2-4. 8 is the number of new beginnings. And God saved a total of 8 people from the flood, Noah and his family. 2 equals set apart, a faithful witness. It also equals a union between Christ and His church. The number 4 equals the Dalet, the Hebrew letter pictograph. And the Dalet is the door. And Jesus is the door. He is the gate. He is the good shepherd that leads us and guides us. And He is going to open the gates of heaven for us to enter in. And it's going to be sudden destruction here on this earth right after the rapture takes place. Pattern is prophecy. Looking at the 8th day of Sukkot, you have plus 9 days, plus 12 days, an additional 3 days. Looking at the number 12. The number 12 is one of the foundations of Scripture. The meaning of 12 is that it symbolizes God's power and authority, as well as serving as a perfect governmental foundation. It can also symbolize completeness or the nation of Israel as a whole. For example, the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob had 12 sons, 12,000 from each tribe. 12 times 12,000 equals 144,000. And also, the high priest's breastplate, also called the breastplate of decision, had 12 gemstones embedded on them, symbolizing the 12 tribes. And there were 12 disciples that Christ had called to bear witness to what He did and to spread the good news of the gospel to the entire world. In Revelation 21, it states in verse 12, also, she had a great and high wall with 12 gates and 12 angels at the gates. It's referring to New Jerusalem. and the names written on them, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. And then verse 14, now the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and on them were the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And verse 21, the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Each individual gate was of one pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, like transparent glass. And then Revelation 12, verse 1 through 2. Now a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a garland of 12 stars. Then, being with child, she cried out in labor and in pain gave birth. Timelines and correlations. Let's jump into this. Timelines and correlations. 923 and 428 correlations. Christ's resurrection timeline, April 28th, 31 AD. This equals 42831. And on that timeline, going to 1026 of 2025, it's exactly 23,933 months and 29 days. That equals 2393 in the center, and then 329, which is crazy. And then also, looking at 428, this is the fourth day of the second and eighth month, which is amazing. And 31 AD would be 3 days and 1 equals the Messiah. And I'm not sure if Christ was crucified or resurrected either on 31 or 32, so that's why I'm looking at both of these. Continuing to look at 31 AD, the resurrection on 428, going to 1025 of 2025, you have 1,994 years, 5 months and 28 days. This is 3 days later, so it matches up what I was looking at for 1023. So 3 more days is on the resurrection timeline. I was looking at the crucifixion timeline for 31 AD. So then the resurrection to 1026 is 1,994 years, 5 months and 29 days. And I think you know where I'm going with this if you've seen my videos. Acts 28:29, the fifth book of the New Testament that's missing out of most versions of the Bible. John 5:28 through 29. 5 is the number of grace. And look at Israel's timeline. 5/14/1948 to 10/26/2025. It is exactly 28,290 days. That matches Acts 28:29 exactly. It matches it exactly. So that's amazing. Does the bride of Christ go missing during this time frame? Only time will tell. We shall see. I'm only on here speculating and giving you the information that the Lord has bestowed to me, and I have to share that intel. So looking at Israel's timeline, 514 to 1026, it's exactly 166 days. That equals the population of Earth that was covered by the 921 eclipse, 16,600,000 people. So that's amazing. Israel's timeline, 5/3/2025 to 1026, is exactly 177 days. 177 equals July 17th, the calendar emoji that I've talked about, the enemy decode I've done in the past. And it could also equal H717 and G717 to pluck. And why I'm looking at 5/3 is because this is IR 5th. When Israel celebrates their independence as a nation, they celebrate it on IR 5th because May 14th, 1948 was IR 5th. And this year in 2025, it happens to land on May 3rd. Jumping into the fish symbol eclipse, which happened on October 2nd, 2024, and April 8th, 2024. Those two eclipses created the fish symbol. And so looking at that path from 10/2/2024 to 10/26 of 2025, it's exactly 390 days. And I have a 3.9 or a 9.3 testimony. I have a 9.4 testimony, and they're all on this timeline sheet for this day as well. Obviously, this is 390 days. And what are we seeing in the news? The great deception that's coming. This 3-eye Atlas comet. If you look at it, 3I, I equals 9 in our alphabet. So 3I would equal 39. Drop the 0, it's 39. The 3I Atlas Comet. Okay, and this timeline from 10/2/2024 to 10/26/2025 also equals 12 months and 25 days, which is Christmas. Exactly Christmas, 12/25. It also equals 55 weeks and 5 days. 555, the completion of grace. That is incredible. That is amazing. And when they say there's going to be a war on Christmas, they were saying that all throughout 2024. There's going to be a war on Christmas. And then Russia was threatening the USA, just like they are right now, with nuclear weapons, because they all are working together in cohesion to cause the sudden destruction. They're all on the same team. All the leaders of the world are all in on it together. Revelation 12, 3-5 sign. October 8th, October 11th, 2024. 384 days equals 1 year and 19 days. That's 119. That's from 10/8 to 10/26. And 381 days from 10/11 to 10/26. That's 1 year and 16 days. That's 116. And this 384 matches my 3-tile testimony on 8/4, 384. And 119 equals 911 backwards, 9/11. And if you think about it, this is the 8th day of Sukkot plus 12 days. Well, if you go to the 9th day of Sukkot plus 11 days, it gets you to 10/26 as well, 9/11. And then also looking at the same day count, 384 days from 10/8/2024 to 10/26/2025, 1 year and 19 days equals 12 months and 19 days. When did they say that the 3I Atlas is going to arrive? On 12/19. 3I Atlas is said to arrive on 12/19. They're going to lie to you. They're going to lie to you and tell you it's going to arrive at a certain time. And that is why there is sudden destruction, so that you're caught off guard. That's what's going to happen. Everyone's going to be caught off guard. So looking at the Revelation 12, 3-5 sign, you have the 8th day of Sukkot plus 11 days. This happened on October 8th. It was the Star of Jacob that went into Virgo. It went into the womb of Virgo, and it exited Virgo's womb on October 11th, and it never touched her legs. It went straight through. And so this was October 8th and October 11th. The 8th day of Sukkot plus 11 days is 10/25. The 8th day of Sukkot plus 12 days is 10/26. The 8th day of Sukkot plus 13 days is 10/27. Redemption. Looking at Stellarium, the moon is in the arc. There is an arc in Sagittarius. In the Archer, that is the shape of a boat, the shape of an arc. And this is exactly at midnight, going from 10/26 into 10/27. So that's why I'm watching everything. If it's not 10/25 into 10/26, it could be 10/26 into 10/27. So that's why I'm looking at everything and looking at the skies, looking at the stars. It tells a story. Genesis, the book of Genesis in the Bible, tells us that the stars will be for signs, and the moon and the sun. So that's why we watch. That's why we look here. So this is amazing. This is 10/26 into 10/27 at midnight. It's just now getting into the ark, into the boat in the Archer. And January 1st, 2025 until October 26th of 2025 is exactly 299 days, and the number 99 equals rapture. And October 26th to January 1st of 2026, not including that, so landing on New Year's Eve, is 67 days. 67 days. The 6-7 TikTok craze that has been happening. 6 is the number of man, and 7 equals completion. So that's amazing. And also the 4th of July that I went over in my previous video. So we have Christmas, and now we have the 4th of July again that I'm seeing. And there's Halloween. There's all kinds of stuff that I could have put in this video. So the 4th of July, 4-5. July equals the 5th month of the old Roman calendar. 8-4 into 8-5 equals 8-4-5. And it's the 5th month on the old Roman calendar, the 4th of July, the 4th of the 5th month, the 4th going into the 5th. And what happens on the 4th of July? Fireworks, which equals explosions and destruction. Getting into the Strong's Concordance. So we have the 8th day of Sukkot plus 12 days. H12 equals destroying and destruction. And G12 equals abyss, deep, bottomless pit that's going to be opened. Revelation tells us that the bottomless pit is going to be open. These are going to be the darkest times in human history that no one will want to survive through. They're going to want to try to kill themselves, and they can't. So this is going to be the worst time ever in human history is about to happen. 8-4 and 2-4 on the Hebrew and civil calendars. So it's the 4th day and the 4th day, which equals 44. And G44 equals a fish hook, because we're going to be fish hooked out of here. Okay? The Lord's going to catch us up, and we're going to be caught away. And also, if you add them together, 8 plus 4 is 12. 2 plus 4 equals 6. 12 and 6 equal 126. And 1026 equals 126. Take out the 0. So they both equal 126. And G126 equals eternal and everlasting. That's amazing. And also 126 equals 726. 126 on the civil calendar equals 726 on the Hebrew calendar. And G726 equals harpazo. And harpazo equals caught, snatch, take by force, carry off, snatched away, pluck, pull, take, and to seize by force. This is going to happen. The rapture is going to take place. I don't know when it is. I'm speculating. I'm looking at what the Lord gives me. He just gives me breadcrumbs along the way, and I keep following them, and hopefully I get it right one of these days. I don't know, but I was called to make videos and to warn people that Jesus is coming so soon. So that's why we watch. We watch. We don't set dates. We watch for the Lord. Setting dates was designed by the enemy to discourage the body of Christ to look for the Lord. They created that date-setting term just like they created the conspiracy term. October 14th, 2025, the 8th day of Sukkot. October 23rd, 2025, plus 9 days. And October 26th, 2025, plus 12 days from the 8th day of Sukkot, 3 additional days, and 3 equals the number of resurrection and new life. That's what I'm looking at. Could it be the 25th into the 26th, or the 26th into the 27th? I'm not sure. I'm looking at all 3 days here. They all look amazing, especially when I see that the moon is in the arc of the archer. I mean, this is a big deal. And what did we see in the Avengers movie, the Endgame, when he pulled back his bow and he looked around after he shot his arrow? Everyone was gone. His family had disappeared. So they know exactly when it's going to happen. And I'm looking with intent to nail it down based on all the breadcrumbs that the Lord has given me. So I'm watching and I'm waiting and I'm expecting. The Lord is coming soon. Cry out to Jesus now if you don't know him. So going over this video, pattern is prophecy, my testimonies, matching up the numbers, the biblical meaning of numbers, timelines and correlations, and the Strong's Concordance. The Lord led me down this path, so I had to create another video to get on here to share all the information that he gave me, because that's my duty. That's what I'm called to do, to share all the information the Lord gives me, even if it doesn't work out. And we're still here. We don't get discouraged. We watch, we wait, and we expect the Lord at any day. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm just sharing the information with you. Thank you all for tuning in. I love you all. I can't wait to see you in the clouds. I hope this is it. God bless, and Maranatha.